Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers from around the world, talking with makers from around the world. Here's Jamie Page, Steve Twidell, Chris Cute, and now your host, Richard Morley.
So, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is, wherever you're listening. Joining me as always, Mr. Chris Cute.
Cheers. How are you guys?
Mr. Stephen Twidell.
Hello.
And Jamie Page.
Hello.
We don't have any special guests with us this week, although we do have four rather, in inverted commas, special people. It's just us four this week. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about. I know we're giving away some stuff. It could go in either direction, hopefully the right direction, but you never can tell. So as always, this week's shout outs and thank yous go to Jim Dockrell, Harneal Media, Tracy Keaton, Alan Scannell, I don't know, and Andrew McQuillan. I believe we've had some interaction over on the Instagrams and the Facebooks and all that, Twittergram and stuff like that. Is that right, Jamie, or did I just make that up?
I think you made it up.
Probably did. Okay.
Along with Twittergram, whatever the hell that is.
Exactly. We never quite know. Don't forget, you can also go and rate us on the iTunes and stuff as well. I believe since the last time I mentioned it, we had a few extra people doing that, which is awesome. I don't actually know whether the myth of it helps us out actually is true, but it certainly makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside. So that's another way to keep us happy and amused, and you can say what you like about us then, which is all good. As always, this week's podcast is brought to you in part by our sponsors, Yorkshire Grit, our good friend Chad over at Mancrafting, Pan from Highland Boxes, and also the silent partner, Steve Harneal, who helps out big time with the website and all of that stuff. Talking of the website, if you want to find out more about these lovely people and all the other crazy things that we're up to, head on, check over the website, makersinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors. And I believe Jamie puts stuff on there, what you might like to hear and stuff. Is that right, Jamie?
That is right, including the Maker Central word details, which is found at makercentral.co.uk, which we'll all be attending.
Not to be confused with Makers International Podcast, or however the thing seems to have developed and gone over the last 12 months.
We are determined to confuse the living hell out of everyone when it comes to websites. Yes, there you go.
Absolutely. And there goes the show. Chris, do we have any random listener questions from the week?
Yes, we do. Actually, we have 3 of them. Ooh. And they're burning questions that apparently are tearing up the internet. And they all revolve around a fat guy in a red suit. Question number 1 is it now acceptable to play Christmas music? Yes or no, guys?
No.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you
the follow-up
a Merry Christmas.
The follow-up question to that is it now acceptable to begin putting up Christmas decorations inside and outside of your home?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Whatever you do inside the safety of your own home is entirely your business. However, don't be putting the Christmas stuff up in my home.
Okay. And the final question is, at what age does your child, and I know some of you are going to have to pretend along here because you don't have kids, but okay, so at what age does your child, that's the pretend part, what age does your child have to be when you finally decide to tell them, come here, kid, let me tell you the truth about Santa Claus? And the parallel question to that apparently is, how many years does it take for your conscience to catch up to you and for you to come clean and admit to little Johnny that he's been living a lie? So, at what age is it appropriate for you to spill the beans and admit to your child that, yeah, okay, I've been lying all these years?
Upon exit of the womb.
Well, I'm going to say, as a parent, never. / when your children have got children, because then they can fend for themselves in that instance. Or if you're a big brother or sister, then I'll refer you back to Jamie's answer.
Well done. Well done, Chris.
What did you just say, Chris?
In order for your child not to grow up to be Steve, because let's be honest with you right now, that's pretty freaking embarrassing. I'm going to say I'll try to give a serious answer to that question. And I'm going to say 7, because if your kid turns 8 and his friends find out that you haven't been honest with him yet, he's going to get berated to hell.
I do just want to say, if you are younger than 8 and listening to this podcast, Chris was only joking.
I was only joking, and it was just a joke. And
yeah, it wasn't a funny joke, Chris.
Go ask your mom why Steve was crying, or your dad, because
I might just add to this that I think it possibly depends on which country you're in and what the population of the area is, and age factor of the area too,
and whether you celebrate Christmas or not. I mean, let's be honest, because if you don't celebrate Christmas, that's kind of a null and void question.
That's a very good point, actually, Chris, and it's not something that I had ever considered. So thanks for that.
Oh, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Well, you don't get much more random than that, do you?
So now Chris, as for the second time on live shows, tried destroying the whole spirit of Christmas, because I believe you did the same thing on your own live show, Chris.
Yes, I did.
Have you got something in for kids and Christmas?
No. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. My childhood years, when I was growing up and I was waiting for Santa to come down the chimney, because I sat in front of my fireplace looking up at it going, is he going to come down through that little hole? Those were the best times, best years of my life. I swear, I kid you not. So am I upset at my parents for letting me believe that? Not at all. Actually, thankful. So if that makes up for what I just asked, then in your face, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever see that? I can't remember it fully, but did you ever see the funny write-up of that you spend years and years telling your kids not to speak to strangers, don't let strangers into your house, don't talk to weird looking men that could be dressed up, blah blah blah. It goes on like that, and then it says, and then you friggin' lie to them until the age of blah blah, saying it's perfectly acceptable for a man dressed in a red suit and a fake beard to come down the chimney into your own house and give you gifts
to put under a tree that doesn't normally grow inside a home. Yeah.
Don't trust any man with a big white beard.
This makes complete sense to everybody except George Carlin. It's like, where did this come from? How did we allow this to happen?
You're all very strange people.
Can I just say, lads, before it gets too late into the show, I think there's a question to be asked, is it?
Oh, there is. There's a question. Oh, Jimmy, you want to explain to the people that are watching today or listening today?
We're doing a giveaway, so before I start talking about it, we'll give them 5 minutes to grab a pen and paper, because I think they might need it.
Yes. Get a pencil.
Everybody out in the chat, you're going to need a pen and paper, because we've got 4 questions to ask you that are going to be asked throughout the show. So we'll waffle on for a couple of minutes while you grab that. So, yeah, how's the weather, guys?
Or a sharp knife that you can scratch into your wall of the workshop. Anything that can mark something.
Something like that.
Might it be worthwhile explaining as to the reasoning behind the requirement for said pen and paper?
That could be also a good idea. Right. Every time we do a giveaway, every time we seem to do a giveaway, we ask a question out in the chat, and usually within 60 seconds, said question has been answered. Well, we are damn well sick and tired of it. And we want our questions to last longer than a minute. And I'm not normally known for lasting longer than a minute. So
that's what she said.
Yeah. So I want it to last a little bit longer this time. So
That's what she said.
that's basically that's the reason for it.
So in an attempt to make the quiz last longer than 1 minute, we're going to ask 4
Yeah.
questions and see if we can drag it out for 4 minutes.
Yeah. For 4 minutes. So,
we want the climax to happen later as opposed to sooner.
so this is how it's going to go. I'm going to ask my question first, and then maybe 10 minutes down the line, Richard shall ask his, and then Chris will ask his in a few minutes afterwards, and then Steve will ask his. What's going to happen is I'm going to supply you with an email address, and you're going to email the answers in the order as they were asked. And the first person to send the email through with all the answers, like I said, as they were asked in the correct order, obviously with the answers correct, will win a Mancrafting tumbler of the podcast logo and Chad's logo on it as well, obviously, as Chad is a sponsor.
Awesome. Well, pray tell, Mr. Page, what is that lovely email address that people should know?
That lovely email address is makersintl@hotmail.com. However,
Wait, let's repeat that so that people can't say I didn't hear it. makersintl@hotmail.com.
that's correct.
Okay.
Okay. And now I'm lost.
So now you've got to ask your question, Jamie. You're just putting you back on track.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Also, if anyone was to answer any of the questions out in the chat, they are automatically disqualified.
So, as we ask the
Steve-
questions, if you're out in the live chat, if you know the answer, don't type it into the live chat, because if you do, you're automatically disqualified.
Yeah.
Isn't that
And
nice?
Steve, everyone uses email, Hotmail, except you, apparently. So, stop trying to cause trouble.
They don't even use computers where he's from.
Yeah.
They're still beating metal together. I mean,
Anyway,
He still communicates with puffs of smoke.
he's still shoeing horses, for Christ's sake. I mean, all right, anyway, go ahead. Anyway.
I'm just going to.
Just before you do ask the question, Jamie, and the last thing I want to do is kind of build this up to a fail. It is Hotmail, isn't it? It's not Gmail.
No, it's Hotmail.
Hotmail.
It's Hotmail.
It is Hotmail, because I seem to remember a vague discussion that we had about setting something up for the podcast as to what a login was for something.
Yeah, it's Hotmail.
Makers
Richard's just emailed me because I'm already logged in.
That's that. I did go through, did it? Good. That's it.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, let me just quickly write the email.
Speaking
out
of
there.
Hotmails, off you go, Jamie.
Right, the email I've just written it out in the chat, so everyone has got it. So question number 1, right? So remember, don't write it out in the chat. Question number 1: what ankle did I have my surgery on, left or right?
Oh, I know.
No,
Okay.
no.
So I'll repeat that again. What ankle did I have my surgery on, left or right?
And remember, after the last question is asked, that's when you want to email us the answers in the order that they were asked. So the first one is from Jamie, and it's what ankle did the surgeon successfully remove from his mouth?
And do not write it in the chat. So 2 of our sponsors have been disqualified, Glyn and Pam.
Clint, shut up.
Pam, shut up.
This is the most complicated quiz in the history of quizzes.
It's not. It's
I'm
not.
the one that got designated to describe it.
Don't forget, you also have to like and share and retweet and follow and unfollow and then refollow and tag 4 of your friends that also have to follow and unfollow, but only on a Tuesday.
when they start their own channel and spiff us, which some people prefer not doing, by the way.
Sorry, what did you say there, Chris? Now, I'm not one to drop subtle hints or anything. You know me. I don't drop subtle hints at all. But did you mention the word spiff there, Chris?
I did happen to mention that word. Yes, I did.
Strange that. It's almost as if we're telepathetically.
There you go. You're half right.
I think we could. Yeah, pathetic would be part of
it. Probably on somebody's telly right now.
Spiffing.
Oh my life!
And I'm embarrassed.
So do we actually have any kind of topic tonight, chaps, or are we just really winging it?
I think we should just have mouthfuls of tools. They get so much from us.
Yeah.
Well, Chris mentioned before we went on air, he had something he wanted to run through, didn't you, Chris?
What, do you want to get into that now?
You can do. I mean, we're kind of struggling for topics, and you had one, so let's.
Well, it's not really a topic. It's more of a satirical little comedy piece that I prepared for you guys tonight. I mean, if you guys want me to do it now, I can do it now if you'd like.
Oh, we don't do comedy.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see how it goes. Just while you get yourself warmed up and all the rest of it. Where was it? Pete from Pete Bunkers has asked how many questions are there, and Sandra Allen has said 3. There are, however, 4 because we're each asking a question, and there is, I believe, 4 of us.
There are 4 hot males sitting in the seat. Yes, 4 hot males.
Just count the heads, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
4 questions. 4 questions.
And the first one has been asked.
Yeah, 3 left. Maybe that's what she meant.
Oh, could have been. Right. So sorry, Chris. I just stole your thunder there. So
no, that's fine, and that's fine. That's fine. And I'm not sure this is actually being set up correctly, but you know what? We'll go with it. And if I turn out to look like a complete idiot, then I'm kind of new. I'm kind of used to that, so that's fine. I kind of need like a church music intro, though. Can you guys do something like for kind of like a?
Oh, if I'd have known that, I could have actually sorted something out for you.
Hello, my children of the parish. It's Father John again with today's version of Get It Off Your Chest. Today, if you don't mind, Father John himself, that's me, has a little something he would like to impart upon you all. The next time you see a middle-aged YouTuber post something on Facebook to the effect of saying, "I'm not sure anybody watches my videos," and then in the same sentence goes on to ask, "But which is your favorite?" Please, oh please, don't automatically assume that this is a cry for attention and then answer that cry with some contrived answer that you don't really believe yourself, because let's be honest, you've probably never watched one of this loser's videos to begin with, have you? No, my children of the parish, honesty is the best policy. So that's not the way to handle that little situation. Father John, again, that's me, suggests that you handle that the same way you would with any bum in a bar, acting the same way by simply telling that malformed lump of clay to grow a pair and to stop acting like an abused sheep from the north of Wales. Then, my children, you can sleep well at night, knowing that you have made this a less annoying world for the rest of us. And so ends today's sermon. So now, go in peace And please stop asking me to subscribe to your crappy channel. Thank you.
See, I think you're kind of trying to have a little pop at me there, because I always say, right, when I haven't seen a video, I always say when I haven't seen the video, purely because I'm not quick enough to think of something randomly generic which is plausible to said video to give it any kind of validation as to why I liked it or watched it. But then you say honesty is the best policy, so I then say I haven't seen the video and you'll rip me for it.
I'm not talking about it was a comedy piece that obviously wasn't set up very well. I'm not talking about anybody. It was satire. See, script people. I thought it was funny. It probably didn't come across as funny as I thought it was, but whatever. I don't give a flying fuck. Anyway.
But it does raise an interesting topic, actually, Chris. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Amazing how that segue worked. It's as if it was planned. It's as if it was planned.
Because if you trawl across, like, the social, probably Facebook's going to be the big one. We all have loads and loads of groups that we're members of on Facebook. I mean, I'm a member of God knows how many groups, woodworking specific and others as well. And I always know what time it is of a Wednesday evening, because my phone will go off within about a minute 6 times, and it will be Jamie's just posted, Jamie's just posted, Jamie's just posted. And I know for a fact that Jamie will have just posted that the podcast's out for the audio for people to download and all the rest of it. And that, it's like it's like a news update, like headline.
Right.
Yeah. But then within the groups, you'll see a similar thing happening where people do that.
Oh yeah.
But if you does anyone listen to any of the kind of the businessy podcasts or the I can never pronounce the word, entrepreneurial sort of podcasts, and how to Facebook and how to Instagram and how to kill it on whatever platform?
Not regularly, Richard, but I have listened to them in the past. Yeah, so I know what you're talking about.
So if you've kind of even glossed over any of these or heard them in passing, you'll hear the kind of the underlying number one sort of tip is to not broadcast yourself. It's about interacting and being part of the community and chipping in about this and that and all different things, and just generally being part of the conversation. But 9 times out of 10, most of the posts that I tend to see seem to be the ones that I get alerted to, rather than the ones that when I go into a group and I kind of scroll down the feed and look at the conversations that are happening. The ones that I seem to get alerted to are generally I've just put this video out, I've just put that video out, this is my latest video, and do you get that as well?
Yeah.
It's kind of, I find it really only dawned on me this week, actually, that I do it and loads of other people do it, and everyone seems to do it, even though all those people, myself included, seem to know deep down that actually that's not the way to do it, yet we all still do. And I'm struggling to kind of reel myself in.
Figure out why. Well, that's kind of, in a very loose sense, that's kind of where that piece that I came up with comes from. It's like, that was just basically me being a goofball writing something out just because I thought it was funny. But just like any kind of satire, no matter how good or bad in that case it was, there's an element of truth to it that underlying was hopefully going to lead us into this conversation. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, YouTube is so hard now to get noticed as a small channel. But people, I think, are misinformed too when it comes to exactly how powerful or unpowerful Facebook and other medias are. Because, I used to do the whole share my video across every group that I could until I got kicked out of them all. But I used to share all my videos to all the groups I was in, and it made absolutely no difference to the views that I got. All it got was bad comments in the in the comments of them videos from people saying, do you have to share it 55,000 times? So I just stopped doing it. So I only share it in 4, I think it is now. 3 of them of which are mine, and I occasionally throw it up on the podcast one. That's
well,
it,
you know
man.
what? I think that if you're going to stick, because I mean, when I do a video, I share it in 3 places on Facebook, and that is it. I share it in the Makers International group, I share it on my own personal page, and I share it on my Make the First Cut page, and that's it. I don't share it anywhere else. And it's only because maybe I'm wrong, but I'm blindly thinking that maybe those are the people who actually give to, and might actually want to know that I have something out there. I'm not going to go out. I'm not trying to force myself upon anybody. And look, we all have different modes of how we want to go out and promote ourselves. And I'm not going to tell you that you're doing it wrong or you're not doing it right. Or, I mean, that's totally up to you. Whatever you feel comfortable with, and and you go to bed at night feeling good about yourself, you know what, brother, go do it. I mean, I don't care. I really don't care. The whole point of that whole piece was the people that kind of go out and have this whole and try to take this nobody loves me attitude in order to kind of suck people in. It's like I find that rather irritating. That's all I'm saying about that. But so hey, promote yourself however you want to promote yourself. I mean, honestly, if you're looking to get attention, you want to get the proper attention, the attention that's going to actually, in the end, get you views on YouTube. You need to stop marketing yourself to your peers. Because it's the outside public of your peers that you really want to start talking to. If you're marketing yourself only to fellow makers, there's a very limited number of us that are going to subscribe to your channel. Honestly, I mean, it's like trying to buy something from somebody who makes something. It's like I make stuff. And if you make stuff and you're trying to sell me something, and I look at it, and I go, I can make that myself. Why am I going to buy it from you? That's kind of the idea. It's like, don't market yourself to the people that can do what you do. Market yourself to the people that can't do what you do and that are interested in what you do. It's just a better approach, I think, in the long run. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sorry, Richard. It's a proven fact. It's a proven fact as well that if your video is any good, people are going to share it and they're going to talk about it. Absolutely. If it's a pile of crap, nobody wants to watch it. So it doesn't matter how much you shovel crap; it's still crap.
Bingo. Time for the next. Wait. Okay. Perfect break. Perfect break. Richard, time for your question. What's your question? Trivia question number 2. Coming your way now.
Okay. All right. So I'd love to come back to this as well, but trivia question number 2. We're, as most people probably know, he's not here at the moment. He's a quivering wreck on the sofa. We're fostering a dog, and he is not the only dog that we've fostered. The question is, how many dogs up to this point have we sponsored? Both not sponsored, fostered.
And this was a point of conversation that we had in the past. So that information is out there. This isn't just a wild guess. This is something we have mentioned before. Okay. How many dogs have Richard and Kat fostered in the past? And that's including the dog that you have now.
It is, yes.
Okay. There you go. That's question number 2.
So, hopefully everyone's got that.
Well, and Dave, you know what, and like I said, Dave, you don't have to. Dave is basically saying he doesn't agree with what I had to say because we all watch each other's makers videos and sub to them, and that's fine, Dave. And that, but I guess the point of view I was trying to take with that, what I was saying, Dave, so I don't get misunderstood, is that if you're looking to broaden your audience beyond the community, then you shouldn't be advertising yourself to just the community. I hope that explains what I was trying to say earlier before. Of course, we all love each other and we subscribe to each other's channels because we want to see what everybody's doing. We want to learn from each other. There's nothing wrong with, making yourself, hello, everybody, I'm here. I'm on the planet. I'm putting out videos. Take a look at me. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, if your sole promotional efforts are to put your stuff out and only do it to the people that are within our community, you're going to be left with a very limited amount of people that you're exposing yourself to. You need to broaden that. That's all I'm saying, Dave. So, I mean, if that's the way I came across, then I apologize, but that's not what I meant. Anyway, so you guys want to pick it up?
Yeah, can I just say quickly before you say that, Richard? Glyn, shut up. Stop giving the answers in the chat. If you were here when the podcast started, we said no answers in the chat.
But well, by the
Don't
way,
make
Glenn,
me come over there and kick your ass.
and Glenn's answer, by the way, people, is wrong. So don't copy Glenn's answer. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, or is it?
Okay, Richard. Sorry. Please carry on.
No, all I was going to say was from what Chris was saying about kind of bringing in people to watch the video. This is purely from a YouTube point of view. More viewers, then there's only a finite amount of makers.
Yes.
So therefore, a good example to my mind, and these are purely my own views, and they could well be different to yours or wrong, whichever way you want to look at it. Look at somebody like Bobby Duke or Jimmy and Bob Claggett.
Yeah,
they've got huge channels, and the kind of things that they're doing aren't just for makers; they are for other demographics. So if you're just into the pool of makers, you're only going to get that number. But if you're appealing to gamers or children or women or housewives or the retired, then that's a bigger number of the population and therefore a better pool of people to grow yourself. It's like if you only sell things to Eskimos, you'll only sell so much stuff. But if you will sell them to anyone who breathes, you've got a better chance. There's a bigger cake to get a slice of.
right. Exactly.
Is that analogy? What I was kind of airing towards when I was saying about, or was I even, or did I just think it? I can't remember now. With the kind of marketing yourself, and Steve Moonshine Metalworks, he sort of alluded to it. The whole, if you promote yourself, it's seen as self-promotion, but if you promote somebody else, it's seen as more genuine, which is true. But the flip side of that is if you promote yourself and you're known, then that's if you're promoting to somebody who knows you. So for example, if I say to you three, my video's out tonight, it'll be out at 9 or it's just gone out, then you know me. I believe to be different to just putting it out to the world, because that, well, hopefully you guys know that I'm not really bothered if you watch it or not, and I won't get offended if you don't. I don't message you because you three have got to watch my video, so I'm guaranteed 3 views. That's not the case. So if you know the person and you know their sort of personality and their viewpoint, then you watch it whether you don't. I personally don't get offended when I see 3 or 4 posts or 3 or 4 notifications on Facebook because a person has put the link out to their video at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh God, nothing like that. To me, that's fine, because, if I look, chances are actually, if I see something that is interesting, I will watch it. If I see it that's really interesting, I'll probably watch it there and then. So I rely quite heavily on those kinds of posts for me to see things, because I don't have a whole lot of time to sit and watch just YouTube. So it's a double-edged sword, and I think you've got to play it with both expectations.
Well, and Steve asked a really good question. And Steve, this is a hard question to answer. Steve asks, is Chris Rich, where would you suggest the best place to share your content outside of the maker community is? And Steve, to be honest with you, each one of us, you have to start somewhere, my friend. And I'm gonna just suggest this, and I'm not saying it's the answer. I'm just gonna suggest this because I actively do not promote my own channel outside of the 3 avenues that I've told you I already do. I don't promote myself at all. I have no interest in becoming the next Jimmy DeResto or Izzy Swan. I did that. My views and my subscriber count means very little to me, other than the fact that I appreciate anybody who actually does care. But if you are looking to grow your channel outside of the maker community, then you need to look to your own personal community first, because each one of us has friends, communities, people that we know that don't do what we do. At least the majority of us do. I could just be living in my own little sheltered world here, but start looking outside of your own world and share it with people who may be familiar with you. And then when they go, man, Chris, that's really cool, then respond to them and go, hey, you know what would be really cool even more is if you would share it to some people that maybe don't know me. Let them see it and grow it that way. You have to grow it outside of the community somehow. And so the only way that I can tell you to do that is to take the community that isn't, part of ours, that you are aware of outside of ours, and share it with them. And then market yourself to those people. Ask them to like, ask them to share, ask them to subscribe. And then you'll start to see some growth, because sooner or later the snowball is going to happen. I mean, we would like to think that we are the universe. We're not. We're a very small little speck on the world that is out there. Jimmy DiResta and Bob Claggett and Izzy Swan and guys like that don't live within this small speck that we know of as the maker community. They have reached outside of that. How do they do that? Because they make cool stuff. Focus on making really cool stuff that will get people's attention and market it outside of your own sphere, and you'll start seeing your universe grow. I guess is the only way I can say it. I don't have a plan for you to do so because I have no interest in doing it myself. I've never looked into it. So perhaps I'm the wrong person to answer that question. I mean, Richard, Steve, Jamie, do you guys got that?
I'm kind of like Chris, I guess, to a certain degree. I've never really wanted to become massive on YouTube by any means. But I guess one way to do it would be kind of like trade shows, some sort of small town event, maybe, like in your own local area. That could be some sort of way of doing it.
I think you need to strip it right back to the question, what do I want from what I'm doing?
Yeah.
You need to decide whether you're a hobbyist, you want to make money, whether you want to be famous, whether you want to be a YouTube sensation. What I do is I put my videos out on YouTube. I don't get massive views on my YouTube anymore. That was lucky earlier on when I started my YouTube, and I got huge hits on something. As you said, Chris, I did something that nobody else had done. It was an interesting video, and I got a massive amount of subscribers all in one go. And then I freaked out, and I did not know what to do. I didn't know what to do the next step. I didn't want to continue with doing that genre of what I was doing because it was dangerous, one thing, and it was a one-hit wonder, and I knew that I couldn't expand on it. But then trying to keep my subscribers, I got into this world of worrying about it too much. And now what I've done is I've come to terms with the fact that the people that want to watch my videos will watch them, and the ones that don't want to watch them will scroll on and watch the next video.
Yep.
But what I do is the same videos, depending on what video I make, and this is just kind of covering how other way would you use social media to promote. What I do is I take the video that I put up on my YouTube, I literally put it back into the editing software, and I speed it up, the whole video. Boom, I take the front off, the end off, and I speed the whole thing up so it's a minute or 2 minutes long. And then I put it on my own personal Facebook page, Temple Boy Turnins, which is what I'm all about. Temple Boy Turnins is me, not my personal page. A lot of people use their personal name and page to promote their stuff. Don't do that. Your sister's boyfriend's auntie's uncle, who is friends with you, doesn't want to see the stuff you're making. They've just friended you because, well, they might want to, but they've friended you because they're part of your family. Okay, put it on the page where people can find it and know what they're looking for. I put my videos up, and just for instance, the goblet that I put up the other day, it's had 4,000 hits on Facebook in 2 weeks. Now, what does that get me? It doesn't get me huge amounts of subscribers. It gets me a few likes on Facebook, and it gets me a few more watches on YouTube, but it gets me out into the world, and it says Temple Boy Turner is making something a little bit different to such and such, and that's what it does. So if those 4,000 views are getting another 20 people seeing something that I'm making, they will share. Yeah, and that's how I promote.
All right. Well, let me quickly stop and say time for the next question real quick because we're running on. Third question for you in today's trivia question is, I guess it's going to be mine because Steve, you've got the last one, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Mine has to do with a nonsense word. And mine is real simple, unless you don't know how to spell. Nonsense words. How many letters are in the nonsense word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? How many letters does it take to spell that? Okay. And Steve, I'm going to go back to what you were talking about real quick and just say, I think it really depends on your approach and what you're trying to do. Are you trying to make money? Are you out there on YouTube because you're a business and you're trying to make money? Or are you out there on YouTube because you're trying to become famous? Are you out there on YouTube because you're just having fun? I think your approach to how you put yourself out there depends entirely upon what direction you're looking to head your channel in, if you want to do it. It's just a matter of, where are you coming from? Do you want to be, the next big thing on YouTube? Okay, well, that's going to require you to do things this way. Are you really trying to just, increase the bottom line to your business? And so therefore you think YouTube is a good chance to go out and promote yourself and get your products known? Well, that's going to be done a different way. If you're just out there to have fun, well, that's done an entirely different way as well. So you have to ask yourself these questions in order to come up with a definitive answer. I don't think that we can give a definitive answer on how you should promote yourself. I think that if you are looking to become popular, and that's the basis of where I was coming from earlier, Dave, was that if you're looking to become the next big thing on YouTube, then you need to expand your horizons beyond the maker community. It's just because we are just a very finite number of people to begin with, and you'll never get to that level that you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, there was a kind of a little sideline off of that as well that I think Dave the Wood Barber asked was, does anybody use Twitter to sell their items and their products and stuff like that? The biggest mistake I find when I'm looking across social media is the fact that people are trying to sell their stuff on social media.
Yeah,
because the people that are looking at your pages are the people that are making the same kind of stuff that you're making. And don't try and sell it to the people that can make it themselves. That don't sell it on Twitter. Don't sell it on Facebook. Sell it on Etsy, where people are looking to buy stuff. Sell it on eBay, where people are looking to buy stuff. Sell it on the forums and the places where you sell stuff. Do you know? Don't try and sell it to people that can make it themselves or attempt to make it themselves.
Now, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, because then, who are you marketing to? It's like a baker trying to sell a freaking cookie to another baker. It doesn't make any sense. So find somebody who doesn't make cookies and sell it to that guy. Don't sell it to the baker next door. That's just not a good call.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Coolio.
That was embarrassing. I was trying to do something else, and then I left the chat. I didn't know that I would do that on my computer. So
yeah, and you don't know how much that threw me off. I thought I'd upset you.
No, just go. I was trying to answer Jamie's question, and it all went horribly wrong. But kind of, I don't know if you got to the end of the thing about Twitter. I found that each platform has got its own merits, audience, and therefore kind of take, if that makes sense. So personally, I found that something like Instagram is I find fun and good and quick and easy, that I can kind of get stuff out of the things that are just going on at any one time. But Twitter, I tend to talk more to companies and brands and other businesses, whether that be other carpenters and joiners or metal workers or like suppliers and things like that, but not customers. I very rarely speak to a customer on Twitter, because having kind of just looking through my own feed, I tend to see things from, like I said, brands and companies and businesses and people who are interested in kind of maybe local news or local things or political sort of avenues and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Twitter tends not to be, this is what I made today so much. I mean, obviously there's people like me who put things on Instagram and then instantly it feeds straight out into their Twitter and into their Facebook. But I've recently reduced doing that or even stopped doing that, because having looked then through my Twitter feed, the stuff that Instagram pushes onto Twitter is just a bit of text, not even the whole text, and then a Instagram link. So you don't really notice it in all the other things where people have got pictures. So I'm slowly moving over now to, if I've got one thing that I want to post on 3 platforms, I kind of take the time to post it 3 times so it's native to that platform.
Okay, makes sense.
Because I've found that, you know, there's not a big response to an Instagram post on Facebook because Facebook don't push it like they push their own stuff, which I get as well. So I think, but from my own point of view, because I've been kind of messing around with all this kind of gump for years to not great success. But one thing, the overriding thing that I have found in that time is, if you want something to be for a platform, put it on that platform. Don't just be lazy like I've been and put it out, because I've tested it and I found that if you put something on Facebook to Facebook, it gets a better response. And I suspect that's because each platform is promoting their own stuff over other things. And I think loads of people have seen before, and I don't think many people disagree, that if you post a link, like a YouTube link in Facebook, it doesn't get the traction that it does if you put a video up. If you like post a video to Facebook,
if you directly upload a video onto Facebook, it's going to get a lot more traction than uploading of a video link. Facebook will share that around a lot more than they will promote a different media such as YouTube or Instagram or things of that nature. You just get a lot more traction by up, and you know, that's self-preservation. They do it for a reason.
The other thing that I'm testing or trying at the moment is using the different platforms for a different target audience. Mm-hmm. So if I want to talk to, you know, brand A, I'll try them on Twitter and then Instagram. I won't bother on Facebook.
Right.
But if I want to attract a customer to my business for, I don't know, hanging doors in their house, for example, I'll put that on Facebook in a local setting above and beyond, say, Twitter or Instagram. Because and I think that's where it lies. I think if you really want to, you know, if you want to grow and grow and grow and be massively famous, you've got to do everything all the time for more time than you've got. That's the bottom line.
Or just do something extremely awesome once that gets shared around with you know, and you've got no control over it, and then follow that up with something even just as cool. All right, I tell you what, we got 10 minutes left. Steve, it's time for your question. Unmute yourself. Let's go.
So it's about a topic that I don't know too much about. When pouring the perfect pint of Guinness, how long is it recommended by Guinness to leave said pint to settle before consuming? So how long would you leave a pint of Guinness after it's had its second pour to settle before consuming the pint of Guinness?
Okay.
Don't you just stick your head under the tap?
No, that would not be.
That is absolute sacrilege.
Okay, that is the 4th question. So if you have the answers, automatically email them. The first one that gets the email into makersintl@hotmail.com is our winner today. Jamie, do you want to go over the questions one more time?
Yeah, we can do. We can each read out our own questions.
All right, you went first. So
I went first. So my question was, what ankle did I have my surgery on, left or right?
Richard, what was yours?
Mine was, how many dogs have we, Cat and I, sponsored up until now?
And my question was, how many letters are in the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? And
That's
Steve,
why I didn't write down.
And Steve, your question was?
My question was, how long does a correctly poured pint of Guinness have to settle after its second pour before you consume it?
All right. Those are the 4 questions. The first answer in the correct order, we must stipulate, to that email address is our winner for the day. And so we'll just kind of carry on until we either get a winner or we run out of time and we'll announce the winner next week. Here's
Exactly.
everybody. See, we're really tired of you guys picking these answers out in 15 freaking seconds. We knew we're gonna stretch this out one way or another.
Can we say that with Steve's question, you've got to be specific, like dead on? You have
Yes.
to use Google.
Yes.
Someone sent the question in, and they've if they had been more specific, they would have got that question right, but they had a different question wrong.
All right,
Yes.
so
It has to be the exact time. It's all over Google. It's very easy to find. It's not exactly an unknown drink or beverage. Yeah, it has to be the exact time.
can I tell them that there's a decimal involved in the answer?
Well, you just did now, so I can't say no, can I?
Well, you could.
But it all depends on where there's always a decimal, isn't there? Even if it's like
Well,
exactly.
Red Smith wins anyway, because he said the answer to everything is 42.
Okay.
Crazy.
He hasn't won, by the way. 42 is not the answer.
So hold on a second. So are we officially saying that there is a possibility that we have stumped our guests, not our guests, our viewers, with said questions, and that it's taken more than 4.3 seconds to get the answers?
Yes.
It's certainly
Wow.
up to the average, and potentially given the people that download the podcast, the audio version, a fighting chance to win something for once.
Let's move on to our shout outs then. Maybe Jamie will have an answer by the time we're done with those.
I'll go last because I've got to do the Jamie's page thing.
Oh my God. Well, can we get that out of the way first, though?
I can do, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Right. Right. So Jamie's page is Dave G Designs Makers Showdown. Goes live on tomorrow, the 5th of November, which is the voting part of side of things. And it closes on the 18th of November. And I believe it's Pam Harris versus our very own Joe Whitaker.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's mine, and I can do my shout out while I'm here. I can keep an eye on the emails then. Right, my shout out goes to a Mr. Jeffrey Smith. He made something that to be honest, I could have needed when I was in hospital, and every maker needs one of these. He made a clipboard for your ideas, so you don't forget them. And that the reason why I needed one of these while I was in hospital was I came up with what I thought was a genius idea, and when I got home, completely forgot it. And if I'd had that clipboard with a bit of paper, I would have had it when I got home, but I didn't, so I forgot. So, but it's a great video, very, very entertaining. So yeah, Jeffrey Smith.
Awesome. All right. I'm pretty sure Richard probably doesn't have one this week because Richard's been super busy.
I have, but I have actually.
Oh, you want to go, or would you like me to go?
No. I'll yeah, you go because I'll try and attempt to find the link without disconnecting, and I'll do it on my iPad. So you just ignore. Crack on. You crack on, mate. I'm muting.
Okay. This is us being prepared again. My shout out this week is actually the gentleman's out in the chat, Steve House from Moonshine Metalworks, for his Badger Claw video. It's about 50 minutes long, but it's worth every friggin' minute that you watch it. Steve, congratulations on that video, my friend. I thought it was awesome. So if you have the opportunity, Moonshine Metalworks, go check them out on YouTube. Give them a subscribe if you like what you see, and check out that video because it's pretty cool. It's part of the if correct me if I'm wrong out there, Steve, but I believe it's part of the Foolify thing that you guys have going on, which, by the way, is a very cute play on words for your podcast. So I love it. Very good, man. Good for you. Congratulations. And great video. So there you go. Love you, man.
Yeah.
Steve, what about you?
Yeah, so I have two shout outs. they're both pretty spiffing. If I want to say,
They're what? Sorry.
not they're pretty spiffing.
Did you say spiffing?
Yeah, quite spiffing. Yeah, quite
Okay.
spiffing. Yeah. I don't know why
what is
that word. I don't know why that word comes to mind, but it does. Two videos. One is from a guy called Al from Al's Hat Shack, and he did a video called "Sawn of the Dead," where he constructed an item which kind of looked like a cricket bat with spikes at the end of it. It was motorized and it smashed a pumpkin. And also our good friend Brett McPhee did a weapon too. I think these were both entries possibly to the zombie apocalypse challenge. Probably, are they? Would I be right, Jamie? But anyway,
yes.
Brett McPhee made a cat of nine tails, forged steel and leather whip, and really loved that video. And he smashed the living bejesus out of a pumpkin also with that said weapon. So they're very, very spiffing guys, spiffing videos, spiffing all round. So spiffing.
That's a word that we haven't heard yet.
Yeah, funny enough, we haven't for some reason. I don't know why.
It's gonna drop that and let it lie right there.
People think that I'm not spiffing.
Because it's not like we ever give those Fools with Tells guys any love. I mean, it's like we've only mentioned them, God, maybe 9, 10, 12 times, and we're not catching much back. But anyway, hey Richard, what's your shout out?
Dear, oh dear. Well, I stumbled across this video because I was on YouTube looking specifically for something completely unrelated to making, but I won't go into that. But it's by Marius Hornberger, which everyone knows Marius. I haven't seen any of his videos lately. I don't know whether he's stopped or whether it's just because it's kind of dropped off my feed or whatever. But this video appeared in my feed, and what he's doing was making a curved edge joint. So if you joint the edge of two boards, you can rub joint them together and make a wider panel, etc. Well, he uses a 3-piece router cutter set. Yeah, sorry, Jamie. And some templates to take that line from being straight to being curved. And you can do it with basically any curve that you can pencil draw. And then you route one, route the other, and it matches up perfectly. I've seen it done before, but it kind of reminded me about something that I wanted to try, because I think I don't want to use the word simpler. It's definitely not better, but I think there's another way to do it, which I think might be more accessible for people without needing much specialist kit or expensive cutters and stuff. So it's something I want to have a try of, and it's a really good video. And if you've got the stuff, you can make some awesome designs in loads of different things. So well worth a watch on that one. How to make a curved edge joint in 2 panels.
Awesome.
One other question. The only question that's getting everybody at the moment is the dogs.
What? That's probably the easiest one.
Actually, Jamie, you said something earlier there that I thought it's a fantastic idea. We should start a segment in this show called People That Are Not Spiffing.
People that are not. No, we're not doing that.
I know a group of guys that definitely aren't spiffing right now.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. You act like they all have pig noses and bunny ears on their heads. We're not going to do that.
Talk about opening yourself up for criticism. Cool.
Oh my word.
We have a winner.
All right.
Yay!
And you guys ain't going to believe it.
Oh, I'll
Is it
believe
Glenn Senior?
No. It is someone from the Fools with Tools podcast.
Oh,
Awesome.
they do nothing but take
forged chain.
And
The
suck
winner
from
is
us.
Mr. Steve House.
Oh my god!
Yay!
Congratulations, you freaking leech!
Absolutely spiffing.
All right.
Hey, just in case anyone gets the wrong idea, we absolutely love Steve, Al, and Brett. We do. We absolutely love them. We just felt like, if we didn't love them, we couldn't give them shit. So we just decided tonight was the night we wanted to go ahead and go full bore after them. So, Jamie, do you want to give the answers in the order that they were supposed to be given so everybody knows what the answers were?
Oh, do you know what? The All-American Woodworker was right after him as well. And he had the exact same. I think actually, tell a lie, he didn't have the decimal point.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So,
Steve,
yeah,
Steve, you
but
are
the right answers were left for my ankle. Richard has adopted 5 dogs. There's
Spot.
30.
You haven't adopted them. Flipping heck.
What? You can speak to Cat about that. I'm staying out of it. There's 34 letters in supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and it's 119.53 seconds
for a Guinness. So congratulations, Steve. You've gotten a Makers International Mancrafting mug.
And Steve is actually a connoisseur of Guinness, I must say. So
I bet
you can enjoy it in a Mancrafting mug now. Yeah.
Apple Guinness.
I've actually still got one here, so I can either ship it out to him or I can bring it to Maker Central. It's up to him.
Whatever he decides.
Fantastic.
Yep.
The longer you make him wait, the better, in my opinion. But whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Richard knows about me shipping stuff to him, so I can make him wait.
No, that's
true.
true.
So do I, Jamie. But we won't go into that.
Yeah. Well, you're part of this podcast, now you can pay for your own shirt.
Richard, get us out of this. End this freaking train wreck, please.
Oh, hang on. Steve wants to donate it because he's already got one. He wants to donate it to Jim of Wave Cycles. Yeah, right. If Jim, if you want to message me, feel free, mate. Is Jim out in the chat? If he's not, then just tell him to message me, mate.
Steve, send him our way. We'll get it out to him if that's what you want.
That's really kind of you, Steve. Well done.
Well, actually, he just gave us away because he has no use for us. So I don't know how kind that was. I mean, let's be honest, because we apparently are not spiffing enough to have frame to have two.
Oh, you don't want your rubbish cup.
Yeah, exactly. Just give it away to somebody else. No respect. We get no love from those.
Can we get Chad to make one saying spiffing?
No, why? No, because no. Whatever. Anyway, Richard.
Well, I know why he wants to do it. It's because I haven't been able to go to the toilet properly.
Okay, so we've had a lot of fun tonight. We hope you've had a lot of fun as well. I'm not quite sure whether we're going to bother doing a sort of a live after party after the show for everyone that's not on Patreon because we don't do it for free. But if you are still listening, then thank you for listening. If you're not, we will say what we like about you, whether you are spiffing or not. That's it from us, I believe. I've had fun. You've hopefully had fun. We will see you all next week back here talking about something of which I have no knowledge currently. So until then, you take care.
And just for anybody who's not clear, we don't have a Patreon, so there's never an after party. But I want you guys to have a great week. You guys take care.
Take it easy, everybody.
See ya. Spiffing.
I'll suck shit.